Item C, one that we had so many comments on this evening, resolution requesting the Guilford County Board of Commissions place a $1.7 billion school construction bond referendum on the March 2022 ballot. Superintendent, would you please read the full resolution for the board's consideration?
Move the item.
Certainly. Whereas the Guilford County Board of Education believes that educating the children of Guilford County is critical and essential to all citizens of Guilford County. And whereas the Guilford County Board of Education believes that all children deserve to attend school in a permanent building capable of supporting the educational programs and services that contribute to a sound education. And whereas the Guilford County Board of Education believes that no child should be disadvantaged by inadequate facilities or lack of proper instructional equipment. And whereas the Guilford County Board of Education and the Guilford County Board of Education established a joint capitals facilities planning committee and commissioned an assessment of all school and district buildings that determined that significant school facilities and equipment needs exist to adequately meet the demands of our student population. And whereas the Guilford County Board of Education has subsequently developed a long-range master facilities plan to achieve the goals set for students by the Board of Education. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the Guilford County Board of Education requests that the Guilford County Board of Commissioners place a school construction bond referendum in the amount of $1.7 billion. Please see the attached Guilford County Schools Facilities Master Plan on the March 2022 election ballot for approval by the voters of Guilford County. This is the 19th day of October 2021.
Madam Vice Chair.
Yes, 1 moment. Board Member Bellamy Small moved the item. Is there a second?
Second.
Board Member Jenkins. Apologize. Diane moved the item. Board Member Jenkins seconded it. Questions and comments. Anita Sharpe.
Well, I think it has an error in it.
Say that again. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I think it has an error
in the resolution?
Yes.
Okay.
On the fourth whereas. Read that again.
Whereas the Guilford County Board of Education and the Guilford County Board of, the Guilford County Board of Education and the Guilford County Board of County Commissioners.
Thank you.
Yes, correction in that second. Thank you so much. There's a typo. Move the item with that correction. Is that?
Yeah, move the item with any needed corrections. Second.
Are there comments and questions? Mr. Tillman.
I'm going to support this bond, and I've been consistent on that. But I do think it's important for the public to know a little bit of context, and I'm not going to take us too far back in history, but just to think about our school system and this type of money and the amount, because it is huge for a county our size, and no one would deny that. But in 2000, there was a bond referendum won on the ballot for $3.1 billion for our North Carolina universities and community colleges. That number would be almost $5.6 billion today. And if you ride around Chapel Hill or East Carolina or Appalachian, as I did on college tours, it's like a constant construction zone. So somehow we have money and we find money for higher education, but yet and still we somehow, through no fault of our own, we find ourselves in this situation. And let it be known, this board did not put us in this position. Let's don't go there. But we can get out of it. We can help get us out of it. And as we've talked about the master facilities plan, we all went into this eyes wide open in partnership with elected officials and business leaders. It was a third-party objective data that we received back. It wasn't a pet project or any type of thing like that. So I think it's important to underscore that. And I'm going to support this. But I do want us as a community, as a board, to be mindful that the work we've been doing with lawmakers in Raleigh on the quarter-cent sales tax is critical. And I'll say it again to those senators listening, that can have control and say over that, we need that 1/4-cent sales tax to help pay down this debt. I think the numbers, Ms. Henry, are somewhere between 30 and 35 million if we can get that language to authorize a 1/4-cent sales tax on the ballot. And that's the difference. It's not just a 1/4-cent sales tax that can be used for anything. It's specifically for education. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind, because economies rise and fall. It is a large number. I think we certainly have the backing of this community and the business community to do so, but that 1/4-cent sales tax is very important. So I just wanted that financing element I did want to mention. But, to folks that are in the Northwest area, when I got elected, I walked through and all the trailers and the overcrowding, this solves that. We heard from other schools in all of our districts that have the same thing. And I've been to the Middle East, and I've been in third world schools, and I certainly am not comparing the two, but we certainly have buildings that would fall into that type of category. So I'm going to support it. I had a lot more to say, but I'll just keep it brief. Just for us to be mindful and judicious during this entire process, and to really, I'd implore all of us to reach out to your legislators and share why the 1/4-cent sales tax language for us is so important. Thank you.
Thank you. Board Member Bellamy Small, and then Board Member Welborn.
It's not that I'm opposed to us having the 1/4 cents, but these are our kids. Guilford County is not a poor county. And when businesses keep saying to public education, educate our workforce, then I feel like it's important for them to invest, because for every million they spend helping us, they're going to make 10 or more. So it is also incumbent upon the business community in Guilford County to step up and be willing to pay property tax or fee taxes or whatever to help us with this. To solely rely on whether we pass a 1/4 cent tax is not where it is. These are our kids. These are the kids who we want to be in the hospitals, in the schools, in the businesses. And even during the pandemic, other than in the service industry like restaurants and those types of things, you have not heard of a lot of major businesses that are in Guilford County shutting down. They may have had to lay people off for a little while or have people work from home, but you have not heard any business putting off 3, 4, or 1,000 people. So that means they're still employed, they're still in business, they're still making money. So, I want this thing to be supported, but I really want our community, our business community, who is making money. And for those of you, particularly if you go into the northwest section of Guilford County, there's a boom town. Ever since we put 73 and 74, 220 going north, that area is exploding in development, both as far as housing, businesses, and corporations, because they're coming near the airport. I suggest that folks look at the airport's 25-year plan. We're going to have even more businesses because Greensboro, Guilford County has been strategically placed to be a logistics hub in North Carolina. So all I'm saying is look at where all the dollars can come from. We could have afforded to put this bond on the ballot last time. So there's really no reason for it not to be put on the ballot this time and have strong support from our corporate community.
Thank you. Board Member Welborn.
I just heard that.
Can you turn your mic on?
Sorry. I just heard that no business is closed. Smith Street Diner, a staple in the.
I didn't say, I said that restaurants and small businesses. I'm talking about.
Okay, if we can continue with comments, we have a full agenda, I need to hear about our academic outcomes. So go ahead, thank you.
So I am also saying there's a lot of property owners out there that didn't get rent for an extended period of time. They're trying to recover. Some of them have lost their properties due to foreclosure. And we're in a high rate of inflation at this time. To put this huge of a burden on business, especially, it's not just big businesses, folks, it's small businesses. It's the little guy, okay? So to put this kind of property value, because that's what's going to support it. And I know a lot of people that used rental properties as their investment for their retirement for this. Well, when no one was paying rent due to the COVID situation, they got hurt. So I'm like, this, I think is too big of an ask. I think it would take us 20 years to even spend this money. And so I'm not going to vote for it.
Thank you. Other comments or questions? Ms. Sharpe? Ms. Sharpe and then Ms. Snapper.
My first question is, how far down the list is this going to get us?
This would get us.
No, it doesn't.
I'm sorry. This would get us down to the Allen J. School in High Point.
What number is that on here?
Hold on one moment.
That's what I had marked. I had marked 50.
That's line 58 and
Okay.
includes 19 rebuilds, 12 full renovations, 3 new constructions, 5 priority repairs, both transportation hubs, and deferred maintenance for $363 million in deferred maintenance for all schools, the safety upgrades for all schools, and technology for all schools.
So that would get us as far as line 58 if our inflation number is correct.
Correct. And if you go to line 40 and also to line 52, it includes $363.4 million in deferred maintenance, safety upgrades, and technology for all other schools on the list. So it's not just the 41 projects that I indicated up to line 58. It includes deferred maintenance, safety upgrades, and technology for all other schools.
Can Ms. Snapper ask her question while I do a little looking for a minute?
Sure, go ahead.
So, sorry, y'all, I'm back and I've got full lung capacity and visual aids. So something I've seen going a lot on social media has been the question, you now have $300 million, what have you done with it? First up, let's understand exactly what that $300 million does for us. So, somewhere along the lines of this, and I swear I'll keep it short, we have asked for $2 billion, and yeah, we need a few more zeros, but it is what it is, to fix these schools. Last year, the prior board put that up for a vote to send to the county commissioners. The county commissioners, prior commissioners, came back and said, there you go, fix it. Okay, 20%. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 20% of what we asked for was actually put on the ballot. If you would like to know why we are behind on the security systems, if you would like to know why the HVA systems have not been repaired, and all of these things that have hit us this year have come at us, it is because we are doing 20% of repairs. That's not sustainable. And as Pat mentioned earlier, this has been going on for decades. Many people who spoke at this podium earlier mentioned this has been going on for decades. We need these repairs. We got this. So what we're trying to do here is take the $300 million we've got. If you would like to know what is going on with that $300 million, I would encourage you to go back and watch the work session that we did over the summer. Of course, email us with questions. Please do. And add back this. There's your HVAC. There's your updated security. Please help us. As Pat mentioned, I do believe in the quarter cent sales tax increase. And Ms. Diane Bellamy Small had a fantastic point about businesses and investing in the future here. Please help us.
Board Member Sharpe.
Yeah, if I had to read this very quickly, but I believe it shows 1.119 million for deferred maintenance, technology, and safe schools. Is there another line item I'm missing?
Line 40 and line
That is-
52.
All right, that is 40. Line 52.
52, yes.
Thank you. I will have to agree with Linda. I mean, I've been around here for a long time. I've been in a lot of schools. The needs are there. The needs are real. But businesses are beginning to feel the effects of the inflation. Construction is slowing down. Construction products are getting harder to get at a higher price. I have my doubts as to whether we can complete what we planned with the 300 million because of the price increases. And I know there's, we need work done. I know that, no doubt about it. I just question that the amount is more than we will be able to get past. And if it fails, it's going to be a long time before we get another one. I just think maybe we go for another 20%, that's 40%, and just keep chipping away at it piece by piece, or maybe go for 30% to get us up to 50%. I just think when you put a B after it, it's gonna scare people away.
Board Member Jenkins.
Well, instead of having 1.7 billion, we can really use 2.7 billion. So I will support the 1.7. Not only that, I will support the quarter-cent sales tax. Almost every person that came out to speak tonight talked about leaky roof, the floors, the holes in the ceiling, all those things, the heat, the air conditioning. We can't continue to put our teachers, our staff, and our students in a situation like this. So I support the 1.7 along with the quarter-cent sales tax. Thank you.
Thank you. The other comments and questions before we move to vote? The motion was moved, I believe, by Diane Bellamy Small and seconded by Betty Jenkins or Deborah Napper. Who? Betty Jenkins. Okay. So we can vote. Linda, you can do mine as an aye, please. Dina?
Yes.
And Kim?
Yes.
So it passes a vote of 7-2.